Okay, guys, today we'll be talking about demand for money. Demand for money, let's get straight to it. It is the total amount of money all people in an economy desire to hold. So, under this topic, we are going to be talking about the demand for money. Why do people hold money? There are reasons why people hold money. There are three reasons, according to an economist called John Maynard Keynes. This economist, John Maynard Keynes, he said there are three reasons why people hold money. The first reason, he called it the motives for holding money. The first reason is called transactionary motive. Transactionary, from the word transaction, it means that some people hold money in order for day-to-day transactions, maybe for day-to-day expenses. You get the point now. So if you hold money in order to probably buy fuel in your car, or you buy food, some people buy food, whether breakfast, lunch, or dinner on a daily basis. When you hold money to meet up with daily expenses, that means you are holding money for what? Transactional motive. Now, one thing is key. Transactional motive, the demand for holding money, transactional motive is actually dependent on income. We're representing income by Y. That means the quantity of money you will hold for transactional motive depends on your income. Some people, what they hold for day-to-day expenditure can be 5,000 naira. While some people, what they hold for day-to-day transaction can be 20,000. It depends on your income. So income of the consumer actually matters a lot. If you are looking at the demand for holding money as regards transactional motive, we're talking about. So the next one is precautionary motive. Precautionary, from the word precaution, it means when you hold money for unforeseen expenses or unforeseen contingency. There are some sudden expenditure. Some people encounter sudden expenses. You get the point now. When you hold money for sudden expenses, you are holding money for transactional motive. Transactional motive also depends on the income of the consumer. So the higher your income, the more the amount you can hold for what? Precautionary motive. Just like we have transactional motive, the amount of money you can hold for precautionary motive is directly related to your income. In other words, if your income is high, the higher your income, the higher the amount you hold for what? Precautionary motive, and including transactional motive as well. Let's talk about the third one. John Maynard Keynes said that some people, they don't hold money for transactional motive, they don't hold money for precautionary motive, they hold money for speculative motive. What's the meaning of speculative motive? Some people just hold money for the purpose of investment, so that they can invest in probably stocks, probably invest in shares in order to get more returns. Now, speculative motive is a bit different from transactional motive and precautionary motive because it is dependent on interest rate. So speculative demand for money, for holding money, is actually dependent on, is a function of interest rate. So the thing is this: if the interest rate is high, the demand for money, if the interest rate is high, the demand for money, when you're talking about speculative demand for money, it actually reduces. You get the point now. The amount of money you hold as cash actually falls when you're talking about the relationship between speculative motive and the interest rate. So demand for holding money, when you're talking about speculative motive, is dependent on interest. However, the relationship is an inverse relationship. So the demand for money, when you're talking about transactional speculative motive, is inversely related to the interest. Is inversely related to the what? To the interest rate. So we've been able to talk about three reasons why people hold money. The first one is speculative motive. The second one is precautionary motive. The second one is precautionary motive. The third one is speculative motive. Transactional motive depends on your income. It's used for day-to-day transaction, when you hold cash for day-to-day transaction. Precautionary motive, when you hold money for unforeseen expenses or contingencies, sudden expenses, maybe to pay hospital bill. You get the point now. So speculative motive is when you hold money for the purpose of what? Investment, and it is depending on interest rate. guys, this is where we're going to stop today on demand for money.